Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin, Richard Foster, Tam McManus and Alan Ruff are with me here. We've got lots of football to talk about, and thank you to you for joining us, and thank you to you for hitting the subscribe button. More and more people joining us, subscribing, and of course watching the programme on a daily basis now that we are exclusively on YouTube. So thank you to each and every one of you. Of course, we try and get a broad spectrum of people who are here from every background. Tam, of course, very working class, Richard as well. And Ruffy, I just mentioned to him there that I was going out for a meal in Motherwell, and he just looked at me as if I was a piece of dirt and said, "Oh no, I don't do Motherwell." Well, there you are, Tammy. He's a snob.
No, he is, aye. Forgetting your roots, remember you're from Knightswood?
Yeah, exactly.
Or Maryhill, where is it? Somewhere?
Both Maryhill and Knightswood.
Yeah, Maryhill.
On the both of them?
Yeah. Maryhill, and then they got a toilet in Knightswood. So
They're not far away there, by the...
Yeah, I can believe that, by the way, Ruffy. Absolutely. Anyway, great to have you all here with us. Lots to talk about. Hit the subscribe button if you do get a chance and join us and the football family here on a regular basis. And if you want to download the app, Ruffy, if Ruffy can download an app, anybody can. Download the PLZ Soccer app. You can watch the programme live on your phone as well. Right, let's start with the Europa League. It's Rangers against Braga. Despite the loss of Helander and the loss of Alfredo Morelos, have Rangers got enough, Richard?
I think so. I think watching them last week, especially that second half, I thought the game was really, really poor. And Rangers looked happy to take the 1-0 back to Ibrox. And having watched the game, I think, if they turn up, if they get anywhere near the level of the performance of the Dortmund games, then I think they win the game quite comfortably, because I didn't think Braga were up to much. Now, granted they might have just accepted the 1-0 and think they can go to Ibrox and get a result, but the game was really, really poor last week, and I think Rangers will improve this week and go through in the tie. Yeah,
okay. Our reporter Kerry Pollock was out there at Ibrox to give us all the build up to the game tomorrow.
European football returns to Ibrox tomorrow night as Rangers host Braga in the second leg of the Europa League Quarter Finals. Braga will have the advantage going into this game after their 1-0 win over Rangers in the first leg. For the Glasgow side to get through to the semi-final stage of the competition, they'll have to win by 2 clear goals, as a 1-goal victory will take the tie to extra time. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst remains confident that his side has what it takes.
Well, I'm always confident, and I believe in my team, because I know what they're capable of, and we've shown that against big teams in Europe this season. So I know the team is capable in doing that. I think we can have a better performance than last week.
Also battling it out for a place in the semi-finals, Atalanta will face Leipzig in the early kick-off at 5:45. Frankfurt will head to Barcelona and West Ham take on Lyon. An interesting night of European football ahead of us, with all still to play for.
Yeah, Kerry, all still to play for. She's absolutely 100% correct on this one. Of course, they know what to expect. Were you that impressed with Braga, Ruffy, even though they did have other chances in the match?
Yeah, they did, but not at the level of what Rangers have played in the previous rounds. I think the opposition there was much better. I think it all depends, as it always does in these games. If Rangers were to get an early goal, it gives them something to think about, and I think Rangers get that early goal, they'll go on and win the game. I never saw anything that I thought was going to trouble. The Roof one that we talked about yesterday, he has to prove that he can get up to this level and score goals, because obviously without Morelos it's a massive blow.
Yeah, are we being unkind to him? I'm picking up on your point. Are we being unkind to Kemar Roof on the basis, Tam, that he's banged in a few goals this season. He's got himself a hat-trick. And this is probably the final run-in where he doesn't have the number one striker to compete with him. So maybe he's got this run to say to people, well, listen, I can score goals too.
No, listen, he's got a perfect opportunity now to go and score goals and prove that he can do it at the highest level. I just think it was because Morelos has been so good for Rangers in Europe. I don't think it's, comparing them in terms of players. I just think because Morelos' record in Europe's been frightening. He's right up with the very best of them that's played in this country. So, listen, I think that's the only reason why people are comparing the two. But Roof's a different player. Obviously, scoring a hat-trick against St Mirren is totally different from scoring a goal in the quarter-final of the Europa League. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think if he gets service, he's proven that he can score goals. Just can Rangers get him the service, the same quality in there?
Yeah.
To contradict myself, he has scored a fantastic goal in Europe. The one that he brought down the halfway line and scored an absolute screamer.
Yeah, I'm not hammering you for that, Ruffy, because the goal against Standard Liège was just outrageous. I mean, it was a brilliant goal, and it's not one of those lucky goals, because I remember Roof actually looking at the time, having a look at the keeper. He's inside his own half, and he brilliant the way he executed it technically.
Yeah, fantastic goal. I think he beats two players as well. So he obviously, once he does that, he realises that he probably wasn't going to run away from them. Goalkeeper's off his line, and a fantastic finish. But yeah, I think he just needs games. He just needs to play games. He's got this chance now to get a wee run. Strikers thrive on goals, as Tam will tell you, and scoring those 3 goals, yes, with all respect, it was against St Mirren, but that just gives him the confidence. He doesn't get Rangers up the pitch as well as Morelos. He doesn't bully defenders as well as Morelos, and that's the side of the game that they miss. I think in and around the box, his movement's good. He's probably technically a better finisher than Alfredo Morelos, but he just doesn't get Rangers up to that point as well as Morelos does.
Yeah, 16 goals. It's a good return.
No, it's a good return. As I said, I think you said 38 appearances, so listen, that's decent. But as I said, we've said before on the show, if you're playing for Celtic and Rangers and you're a striker and you play 38, 40 games, you're willing to score 20 goals, 15, 20 goals. I think that's par for the course. I think that's average, so as I said, he won't need to do as much running, I don't think, because I think Rangers will come and dominate the ball. They'll have a lot of pressure tomorrow, so he'll no need to put in a typical away performance that Morelos would maybe do away from home and running the channels and all that. I think he'll be able to play more central. So no, I think he's capable of scoring goals tomorrow night and getting Rangers through.
Yeah, Carlos Carvajal is a confident manager at the best of times, Ruffy. He's not exactly shy, not worried about the atmosphere, reckons his players will thrive on it, and also said, well, we've obviously got to be disciplined defending. We're not there just to defend.
No, not by all accounts. He's saying, look, if they want to attack us, we'll hit them on the break. We've got quality players who can play that style of football, and that's what they'll try and do. But for me, it's all about Rangers. It's what they do in the night, put pressure on them, get the crowd right behind them, and it's okay saying, my players won't be, intimidated by it. But if Rangers go 1-0 up, you're going to start doubting yourself. It doesn't matter where you are. And if they continue to play well, as I said, I think they'll win. Yeah,
Aaron Ramsey has got a part to play, a bigger part, because obviously he wanted to arrive in Glasgow, make an impression and win things.
I came here to win, to have the opportunity to play and show what I'm capable of doing. So, but the main thing was that we're in, 3 competitions and we want to be, successful in all of them. So this is a huge game for us to progress, and yeah, there's pressure on you here. So, I've been in clubs where, under this kind of pressure before. So that's what I enjoy. So hopefully we can make a successful season for us.
When he's fit, when he's on the park, I like him as a player, Tam. He just needs to be on the park.
No, he needs to play. I mean, that's why Rangers brought him in, for games like this, the old firm games or big games in Europe, for Rangers to win things. So I think they've managed him very carefully, but I think now's the time. If you're going to unleash him, you're going to, take the shackles off. He's got to play now. There's no going back now. Rangers are basically got to win the cup or win the Europa League. I don't think they're going to win the league. So he's got to play every game now. And as I said, it's up to him tomorrow night to go and prove that he's a top quality player. He's done it at a higher level than Europa League, done it in the Champions League. So he's got to go and prove it, and I think he will. I think he'll go and put a big performance in for Rangers tomorrow. Yeah, potentially about 9, some people would say maybe 11 games for Rangers still to go before the end of the season if you're going all the way to the final. He's got to play in, I think he's got to play in every game now from now until the end of the season to really make that contribution that Rangers brought him for.
Yeah, I think, to start with, he's been out for it with injuries, he's struggled for fitness, so you break him in gently, which they've done. They play him in, 60 minutes here, 30 minutes there, build up his game time, but I think you're both right. I think now is the point where he should be fit enough, he should be match ready, which and in the games, to be honest, he has looked, he's looked good in the games that he's played, so go and play him, go and give him a run of games, and he will progressively get better, because, make no mistake, Aaron Ramsey on top form is the best player in the league. He just needs to get himself up to that level.
The best player in the Scottish Premiership?
Best player in the Scottish Premiership, and when he's on top form.
That's an interesting, that's a great topic, isn't it?
The level that he's played at.
Yeah, it's just,
he's just not at that level at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not giving a hoot about what you said about the level he's played at. It's a good argument, isn't it? It's a great argument.
It's a good argument, but
I would Tam as a pint of lager and have a look at it.
I would disagree with that. I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, yes, but I think he's past his best now, Ramsey. I still think he's a very good player, but
yeah, you think he's past his best?
I think he is, aye.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as he was 3 or 4 years ago.
Question. You look as if you're ready to fight me there. by the way, can I just say something? The Ned and him come out there. He just looked at me as if, do you want to go outside? We'll settle this outside.
He was building himself up for time castle last week.
Exactly. He's not used to people giving him pelters. He wants to pick a fight. No, it's an interesting one. I mean, you think he's past his best, Ruffy?
I agree with Richard. I think Richard's fine.
Do you think he's past his best, Ruffy?
Oh, of course he's not at the level he was at, you know, that what we're talking about, you know, but he's still a quality player. He's still, I mean, what other names are we throwing into it?
Is he the best in the Scottish Premiership?
If he was 100% fit and had all the matches he needs to, I think he's up there, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have any other players who've played at the level he's played at.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. It's a really interesting debate on...
I'd love Tam to throw in a name.
Well, I think Callum McGregor's the best midfielder in Scotland.
McGregor and Rogic, probably, I think.
Yeah.
But Ramsey's up there with both of them for me.
Yeah. Above them?
Above them on his day, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Great argument. Good. I love the way you've thrown that in. But that's the joy of the programme.
Tam's not got anybody.
Go through the Hibs scorers this week.
I'm just wondering, do I hit him with my right fist or do I hit him with my left? Can I get full purchase on him? Anyway.
Scott Haller? No.
Well, I'll be honest with you, by the way. I mean, do you know what? I'm going to touch base with you on that. He's another one of the players. If Aberdeen are going through a cull, Hibs are going to go through a cull. We'll speak about the players that we think are going to be heading out the door shortly. But here's Rangers' predicted 11, Tam. What do you make of it? McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Balogun, Bassey, Jack, Lundstrom, if he makes it, Aribo, and then Ramsey, Roof and Kent.
Yeah, it's a strong side. I mean, you're talking about Lundstrom. I think if he doesn't make it, maybe Davis would come in.
Yeah.
So it's still a very strong team. You know, and a team that is full of quality and it's capable of beating Braga at home in front of a packed Ibrox. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Aribo, you know, was back on his top form again at the weekend there against St Mirren. But again, this is a big step up for Rangers, and you're going to need 7 or 8 of them to play at their full potential to go and beat Braga.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah, I agree with that team. On paper, should win the tie. I think they should win it quite comfortably. I don't think they played well last week. I think, but it's a completely different animal at home with the crowd behind them. They've started their European games very, very quickly, which instantly gives the crowd a huge lift, which then, you know, it filters back onto the pitch. And I think they need to do that. You know, the tactic always when you go to Ibrox is, you know, keep them quiet for 15, 20 minutes, and the crowd can kind of get a bit edgy and a bit nervous. If Rangers score early, then I think they'll kind of comfortably win the tie.
Okay, I think Rangers are going to win it 2-0, Ruffy.
Yeah, I went for 2-0 as well.
I said 2-0 yesterday, didn't I?
Said 2-0.
I say 3-1 Rangers.
3-1 Rangers.
2-0.
2-0. Here's the Europa League fixtures for you to look forward to, as well as Rangers against Braga. Barcelona Frankfurt is nicely poised at 1-1. Again, Lyon against West Ham as well is one of those fixtures which is nicely poised at 1-1. And the other match, again, similar scoreline, Atalanta against Leipzig. So this time around, excuse me, of the other ties, Ruffy, if you were going to pick 3, it's a tough call this time around. I thought Leipzig would be more than capable of seeing off Atalanta. I think Atalanta have got a great chance. I might change my mind on that and go Atalanta, Barcelona, and then this is the one where I think even with down to 10 men, I think West Ham might take it to extra time with Lyon, but I'm going to go for the home side. I think West Ham have blown it.
Yeah, I would go Atlanta, Barcelona and Rangers. Lyon, on the evidence of what they were like when they played Rangers, I thought they were absolutely superb when they played Rangers earlier on, so I'd probably go for them.
Yeah. So what about yourself, Richard?
I'd probably go Leipzig, Barcelona, West Ham, Rangers.
Yeah. Oh, for complete difference from you and I.
Agree with Richard.
Yeah. Oh, you
Leipzig,
Richard now, just because you didn't get a fight.
I'm not giving you. Leipzig, Barcelona, West Ham, and the Gels.
Yes. Okay. And somebody did mention there. Alisson gave him what for yesterday, and now Tam's giving him the cold stare. And of course, the other great thing about you coming out with that line, as soon as you, Ruffy and I know, as soon as you come out with a line like that, the whole message, our message board goes mental, Ruffy. People actually laughing, some swearing, obviously. You know, if you swear, you suffer from a lack of vocabulary, my old English teacher used to say, Ruffy. But nevertheless, you know, there's lots of people. John Curl says Ramsey's the new Duffy. It's very unkind, isn't it?
Harsh.
I mean, when he plays, he looks as if he's the business. And lots of other people saying Calmac is the best player in the league. Listen, it's all about opinions. That's the joy of it all. But as far as the Europa League is concerned, tomorrow night, Ibrox will be bouncing for that one. It'll be a tremendous match. The one thing that I think is a little bit of a worry, guys, we talked about it there on their Facebook feed, Ruffy. Suddenly with Villarreal last night and that brilliant result in the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich, if they go all the way to the final and win it, suddenly Scottish clubs might be looking at the permutations and thinking they might have to play a qualifier and not get into the group stages.
Yeah, that would be a shame for anybody who wins the league. Obviously, you know, we know how difficult it is to get into that group stage, but I would be like the guys here. I would say I don't think Villarreal will win that European Cup.
Oh, you see when he is being absolutely ruthless in his opinion, he starts to whisper because he hopes somebody won't hear him on the actual feed. Which is,
So say that again, loudly.
I don't think Villarreal will win the final.
yeah, you're quite confident about that. I'll tell you one thing, it was a fantastic result for them, Richard. But last night, I've got you know, some of my family over who are cousins from Germany. The boys were sitting down and they said, you know, Uncle Peter, what game are we watching? And I just basically said we are watching Real Madrid against Chelsea because it's going to be an absolute humdinger. We're not watching Bayern Munich, and we were not disappointed. What a game.
No, it was fantastic. I thought Chelsea were excellent for most of the game. But, you know, when you're playing against a team like Real Madrid who've got the quality they've got, you know, you give them a half a chance and they kind of swallow it up. And great game, you know, the disallowed goal and the Real Madrid kind of come back, and then the goal to win it from Benzema is just, see, again, I've said this before about other players, but see if you're a young striker watching, if you watch his movement, he goes into the front post, takes a defender with him, then checks back out to the back post, and the perfect cross comes in and he finishes it off. It's fantastic movement for someone who's having an exceptional season, but yeah, I felt that at one point, you know, I thought Chelsea were going to go on and see it out, but like I say, Real Madrid have got too many good players, and they were always going to get a chance in the game, and they took their chances with aplomb.
Ruffy, you know what it's like. I just love midfielders. I love anyone who can just show a bit of skill in the middle of the park, lift your head, vision. The pass from Modric is one of those passes that we're talking about levels. There's not many midfielders in the world could see an outside of the boot pass right onto his toe.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is when he came to play us in the Euros, everybody was saying he was past it, and he absolutely controlled the game. Scotland.
Yeah.
Scored a goal without his foot.
From start to finish. I mean, he is top notch. He is the player that wins you games. You know, the top player. You know, you want to keep him, and as I say, all the other players respond round about him. And when you've got somebody like Benzema up front, then you've always got a chance. Yeah,
it was just brilliant, sublime. I mean, I can remember actually Croatia coming to Scotland to play many years ago when he was just a kid, and he controlled the game then. He was absolutely sensational, and you know, I could remember looking around going, I wonder who's going to make a bid for him. And one of the Croatian journalists said to me, every club in Europe is looking at him. He was that good.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's one of the best midfield players in the last 20 years that's played in Europe. He's tremendous. I said he scored a great goal against us at Hampden, unfortunately. He's outside of the foot pass, is right on his toe. Didn't even need to break stride, just side-footed into the net. And a couple of moments of magic from Benzema and Modric got Real Madrid through, because I thought Chelsea absolutely battered them, and I thought Chelsea were very unlucky not to get through.
Is Modric up there with Ramsey?
Just out of curiosity, Richard, welcome to Ruffy's world. You know, it's a great noise up for it. I wonder where he. I'll tell you one thing. It's a great argument. I wonder where he ranks. You know, when you think about the players who've been at Real Madrid, who've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Champions League medals or 6 European Cups. You know, the great team with Gento and what do you call it, Puskas and Di Stefano was a fantastic side, and they rave about them. But over and above that, you look at the great teams that's Zidane.
That I would remember.
Well, I was going to say to you, I'm trying to give context for everybody who remember Real Madrid sides. I mean, I can go back and look back when they had Zidane, when they had Roberto Carlos, before Beckham and that got there. I'm talking about a team that actually won the Champions League in 2002. They were unbelievable, Ruffy.
My favourite was, I'll see if I get this name wrong, Raul.
Yes, Raul.
I thought he was, the records that he set while he was at Real Madrid are absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, the Michel Salgado at the right back. Guti.
Hierro.
His back heel assist, Guti, when he's through on goal.
Man United.
It's just
outrageous, isn't it?
But I think, you know, Modric is in good company there. I think he could hold his own in there, probably, for me, apart from Zidane.
I think Modric has got about 4 Champions League winners, man.
Zidane was a magician.
Oh, Zidane's out there on his own, but it's absolutely fantastic. I loved watching the game. If you're a football purist, that was the kind of game, Tam, when you sit and you say to yourself, everybody wants to go forward. Everybody has to make sure that they're a first touch. There was one moment when Loftus-Cheek and Mendy on the other side, there was one moment when both those players had a poor first touch and the ball went out for a throw-in, and both their managers were going mental for a poor first touch.
You can't afford to have a bad touch in that company, in that game.
Isn't it?
As I said, again, it was 2 teams that were wanting to go forward and win the game. Chelsea, Real Madrid. Real Madrid are never going to sit back at home. And it made for a great game, same as Liverpool, Man City the weekend. You're going to get a totally different game tonight. Atletico v Man City, because Atletico are going to park the bus again and they're going to try and play for set pieces and try and nick a goal. It's going to be horrible to watch.
When you actually look at the Atletico team, and they've got good players. Technically, they've got really good players, and they can pass the ball around. It's just, I think sometimes they're not stifled. That's the wrong word, because he does get a level of success, but you just want them to go and play. You know, just try and play against Man City, be compact defensively, but then go and open up and try and play a bit of football, but they won't.
Do you know why I loved it? Do you know why I love having the feed of our viewers, Ruffy? Because they love their football, and every now and then, if you make a wee mistake, they're on it. And I think the guy we were talking about who did that thing at Manchester United was Redondo.
That was Guti.
Yeah, you think
so?
When
he's running through, and Guti's actually one-on-one with the goalie, and the ball comes to him and he backheels it.
Yeah,
it wasn't against Man United, but it was against somebody else.
I don't know who it was against, but the guy behind him scores.
It was a Spanish game, I think.
Yeah, I think Redondo was the one at Manchester United where they go right along the bottom and play it across to Ronaldo, who side foots it into the back.
Yeah, I think that was that game, but Guti was definitely in another game. It was a better assist. It was in a Spanish game.
Yeah, Sean,
up on YouTube.
Listen, we will, by the way. Sean, thank you for that. Daniel Mack says Pirlo is the best midfielder ever. That's a big claim. I like Pirlo as well, but that's the
Obviously,
joy.
I've never seen Jarko Wiss at Hibs.
Yeah, well, there's another thing, you know, and Gogic. Or as I know him, Alex Gogic Yellow. Next one, you're off.
Oh, he's a hard. He's
a hard boy off. Listen,
Big Alex.
From Lanarkshire, we wouldn't be shying away from anybody. From Easter Road at the moment, the way you're playing. Anyway, we're going to talk about the way Hibs are playing shortly. Here's the Champions League fixtures to look forward to tonight if you're in control of the telly. So Bayern Munich 1-1, Real Madrid 2-3 against Chelsea. Real Madrid are through. Chelsea absolutely gutted, and they played really well. We haven't even spoken about Chelsea. But tonight, what are you really watching? Are you going to watch Atletico Madrid against Man City, or are you going to watch the eventual Champions League winners Liverpool take on Benfica? It's up to yourself, Ruffy.
I've got to watch Man City. I want to see how that turns out. Liverpool
game. The time's done.
It's done. You want to see. You should be watching Man City, because that's your danger
nemesis.
Rivals. That's your
absolutely stole a draw from them at the weekend. Man City pumped.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, by the way, if you can't win in your own backyard, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself. So, Richard, where's that going? Atletico Madrid, Man City. There's only one goal in it at the moment.
Yeah, I think Man City will win the game, or do enough in the game so not to go through the tie. But regardless, if Liverpool had this tie 10-0, I'd still watch the Liverpool game, because watching that Atletico Madrid game will be like watching. I'd rather have someone stick pins in my eyes.
Yeah,
it's just awful.
The ball will be in play in that Atletico Madrid Man City game for probably 30 to 40 minutes. The rest of it will be out the pitch, people rolling about, stoppages, fouls.
Do you not think it might be different? They need a goal.
No, they just need one goal, and they'll probably fancy the chances on penalties. They're just so. I think it's so negative.
Yeah.
Way of looking at football, especially at this stage of the tournament, because you're a good side. You've got this far. Go and play and try and beat the team. Yes, Man City are a great side, but they might have an off night.
Okay. The only reason I always say stop the clock for football is because last night, only when Real Madrid scored the goal that they needed to get through, did they suddenly revert to rolling about. I've picked up an injury, I've got cramp, all that thing that annoys the life out of me. Anyway, apart from that, we're going to talk the post-split fixtures with the guys as well to get some of their thoughts on it too, because Celtic and Rangers in the run-in, is it going to be an unbelievable weekend? It could be a defining week for Rangers. We've talked about them playing Braga, but we're going to get the guys' thoughts on basically the fixtures that came out, the post-split fixtures as well. We haven't had a chance to speak to you about it, Richard, but there you see it, Celtic Rangers. Ruffy, I have to tell you, I don't know if you're aware of this, we put your comment out on Twitter and Facebook, and it went absolutely mental.
The one that said
teaming in and
the one that said Celtic have got the easy run in.
Celtic have got the easy run in. 20,000 alone on Twitter have teamed in to batter you over the head on this one.
All I said was that looking at the fixtures, Celtic have got 3 home games, 2 away. Rangers have got the reverse. I think Rangers have got the 2 hardest away games. You know, if Rangers, and I'm sure the supporters think they can turn it round and keep it going right to the end. If it was to go right to the end, all I said was I'd rather have Motherwell at home than go to Hearts for a win.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you, Ruffy. Celtic have got an easier run than Rangers. Yeah.
Same team.
It doesn't matter for me.
Yeah.
I think you've got Hearts at home and Rangers have got Hearts away. That's a much more difficult game. Celtic have got Motherwell at home, Rangers have got Motherwell away.
Yeah, no argument with it.
No,
I don't think you need to go in the defensive, Ruffy, because quite simply, at the end of the day, they try and even it out as fairly as possible over the course of the season. So everybody knows that Celtic are going to get the final Old Firm game at home, and a chance for them really to take full advantage of that. But as far as the run-in's concerned, when you look at those fixtures and it's coming thick and fast, did you get a sneaky feeling that it might have been the first game, Celtic Rangers, rather than the second one? Because I think that could be a title decider.
Yeah, I thought it would have been the first game after the split. I didn't think they would have wanted it to be a title decider when they played each other. But if you look at there, I know Ruffy said, going back to what they said, Celtic are away to Ross County, a place where both Rangers and Celtic have struggled this season.
Yes.
So you could argue that the first game out the bat is, Rangers are always good at Motherwell. So I think I thought it would be the first game, but yeah, for me, Celtic win the league after not losing in the Old Firm game.
Yeah, I think, Ruffy, that is the last moment of hope for Rangers fans to try and think that the great comeback and winning the league before that game is they have to hope that Ross County, not a draw, but win. And suddenly they're all lifted, and the team's absolutely lifted to go to Celtic Park and say, okay, game on. The only one thing I would say that, still in Celtic's favour is the goal difference on this.
Yeah, but I mean, we're all looking at these fixtures. You still got to go and win them. You still got to get there and perform. I still think, in looking at all these fixtures, there will be a result that we're not expecting. I don't know which one it will be, but there'll be something that'll happen at one of the games. Well, Richard's already talked. The Ross County won Celtic, I would say, and obviously, Hearts getting something out of Rangers at the end wouldn't be, but I think it would be gone by the last 2 games anyway.
Well, it's all about statements, all about opinions. Some people, like them, some people don't. Ruffy, you are in blistering form with that line. Whether people agree to it or not, it's your opinion. The one thing that I do have as an opinion on this, Tam, with regards to the run-in, is Kevin's mentioned it on our feed here, and I absolutely agree with him. I don't see Celtic losing another game. I think they will win the semi-final, I think they'll win the final, and I think they'll win the remaining games in the league. I cannot see them losing another game because of what they have available and the way they're going about their business.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't see Celtic getting beat. I can see Celtic beating Rangers twice, beat them in the semi-final and at home, and that's the league done. They're so strong at the minute, they're playing with so much confidence, their squad is really, really strong. They have plenty of depth, plenty of competition for places. I think he's ruthless as well, Postecoglou. I think if you don't play well, you're out the team, and the players are well aware of that, so I don't see Celtic losing a game this season.
And I mentioned this, and I don't know if we got your thoughts. At some point we would have got your thoughts on this, Richard, but I think at the start of the season we all tipped Rangers to win the league, did you?
Yep, I could not see it. I think I said Rangers, the second team, would beat Celtic's strongest team towards the start of the season.
You were going through your mental phase then, weren't you?
I was, but that was Celtic at the start of the season were all over the place, and I remember you put you put a graphic up there, and it was the two Rangers teams that they could play. And the two teams were equally strong, and Celtic's was miles off it, but Celtic have strengthened and Rangers haven't, and I think that's been the big difference.
Yeah. Richard, who did you go for at the start of the season? Were you in the Rangers camp with this one?
Yeah, I'd have backed Rangers to win the league, because, and that's probably ignorance on my part, and the fact that I never really knew much about Ange Postecoglou, never knew much about the way he wanted to play, but just the character he is. I think he's, as Charlie said last week, he is a breath of fresh air, and he, even after those first 6 games, he was confident. He was, batting away questions that everyone was saying the league was over, and he was composed, and he knew. He obviously has seen the way he likes to play. He's seen it in action. He knows it brings success, and he knew that if he got the right players, which he did, that his team would become successful, which they almost are.
And our digital journalist, as you know, Cheryl, is a stickler for any words that come out of any of our mouths, Ruffy, and she said Celtic have beaten Ross County 4-0 and 3-0 at home, but the one that I think we're all looking at is the 2-1. It's the Ralston goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, anybody gets up to Ross County and know you're in a battle. But generally the quality comes through. But they're in the top 6. They're talking about Europe. They're talking about they've got a chance of getting into Europe. So they're going to be fighting right until the end. But the quality's there in Celtic. They have to have an off day for Ross County to win that game for me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't discount Rangers. I don't think there was much between the teams at Ibrox, although Celtic won the game.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers have still got the quality in a one-off game to beat Celtic.
No, that's fine. That's great.
No, but usually dismissing them. He's saying, no, that's a League One, that's a Cup one.
Wait a minute. What Tom's doing and what I'm doing is offering our opinion, brutal, silly, intelligent or otherwise. You make your own call on it. But
he's saying they might.
My opinion is I wouldn't discount Rangers in any.
Who do you think is going to win the league?
No, wait a minute, that's not an opinion.
Who's going to win the league?
Celtic.
No, but
I wouldn't discount them in this semi-final.
No, listen to what you're saying. You every week for 10 years have dealt in probability. You deal in probability. You say I wouldn't, they could, they might, they can still do it.
Yeah, but
that's probability.
Yeah, but there's no definite that your opinions are right.
No, but we're giving you an opinion though. At least we're giving you one.
Maybe.
We're just saying that.
How's Rangers don't discount them on opinion?
Well,
you're not saying they're going to win.
You're not saying they're going to win anything. Are you saying Rangers are going to beat Celtic and go on and win the league? No. Listen. Let's put it on the Twitter tonight.
Get that on.
Let's dump him right. You're unbelievable. You're a nightmare. You're absolutely right, Tom. Anyway, apart from anything else, Celtic and Rangers is one thing. Hearts have just solidified their place in third. No contest there, but at the bottom, Richard, have a look at the fixtures here. Now, I've offered an opinion. I might be wrong. Give me your thoughts on it. But Dundee and St Johnstone, it's the first game after the split. When the fixtures come out there, I thought, oh, this is a cracker. Now, I can see a spark in Dundee, and I'm tipping them to beat your old team. And I'm also tipping them to go right down to the wire with it. I have a sneaky feeling they might just get the playoff. I might be wrong, but I'm giving you an opinion.
I think they have to win this game. They have to win this first game. That's paramount. They've got to beat St Johnstone. If it goes to 9 points, then I don't. Well, no, it'll be 8 points, wouldn't it? I don't see them coming back from that. But I know Callum was very composed after the game against Celtic. He got absolutely thumped 7-0, and he was composed and kind of still felt his team were in a good place, but mentally it's still not good losing that many goals. And I think, you know, they were on a bit of a good run, picking up points. And you know, you hope for St Johnstone's sake that that result against Celtic hasn't kind of derailed them at all. But if there's any kind of weakness there, it's conceding goals. And Dundee showed at the weekend that they can come back from 2-0 down. You know, they lose that game, and I know it's only a point they've picked up, but like you say, it starts to build a bit of momentum. But I disagree with you. I think Dundee will get relegated, and I actually think St Mirren will be in the playoffs. I think if you look at the first fixtures, St Johnstone I think they'll beat Dundee, and I think they'll beat St Mirren, and then St Mirren their first fixtures Hibs. Now that'll probably be a 0-0 draw, but they'll get sucked right back into the mire, I think.
Well, there's an opinion.
Well, that was what I was going to say.
You were going to say. You were going to say exactly.
I was going to say exactly.
That might happen.
No, I'm not 100% agreement. In my opinion,
right,
Dundee will beat St Johnstone, and St Mirren will be drawn into it, and it'll be 3 of them, 2 for 3.
And who is going to be in the playoff?
Probably St Johnstone.
St Johnstone in the playoff.
And who's getting relegated?
Who's getting relegated?
Dundee.
Dundee's getting relegated, even if they win this game right after the split. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam, give me your words of wisdom.
Are Hibs going to get dragged in? Tam?
No. I think Hibs are well clear of it. Listen, I think that Dundee, we've spoken about it there, they need to beat St Johnstone. If you beat them, it's 2 points. What I would say is Dundee have come back from behind twice in the last few weeks. 1-0 down, 2-1 down against Aberdeen, 2-0 down against Dundee United. They're still fighting. The fans can see they're still fighting. They've reduced the prices to try and get a full house at Dens Park for that game against St Johnstone. They know how big it is. They know they have to win. If they win, it goes to 2 points. Then it's game on again. But I don't know. I still think they're going to get relegated. I just don't think they're going to win enough games. They might draw a few, but they're your thing there. They've won 7 games out of 33 this season, Dundee.
Yeah.
And they're going to need to win another 3 out of 5.
Can I paint a picture for you?
What?
Let me paint a picture for you. We started this programme talking about levels, and the number 26, the maestro, is suddenly going to write the fairy tale ending to sign off with. He is hitting raker goals, he's hitting 40-yard diagonals, he's passing 10 yards and making it look easy. If ever this is set up for Charlie to just produce something to drag his boyhood heroes out of the mire, this would be the ultimate fairy tale.
It certainly would, and I think I would never say this when he's on the show. You know, you don't want to give him too much confidence, but he's a fantastic football player, technically. And I think, you know, big players do big things in big moments, and there's no bigger moment than Saturday against St Johnstone. You see there at the weekend, get a goal back in it, and he enjoys a shot from outside the boxes, Charlie, but a fantastic strike again, and gets Dundee the point. The week before that, 2 set pieces, he gets them the point. So he's a huge player for them. But you're right, you know, if he does something wonderful and manages to keep Dundee up, then that would be a fairy tale ending for him.
It would be, absolutely. Ruffy, if we're talking about levels, if you're talking about the top 5 or 6 midfielders in the country, Charlie's up there.
Yeah,
in the country,
in this country. I think, I mean, honestly...
Technical ability, yes.
Technical ability. I mean, I'm not... Listen, for the complete package of somebody who goes box to box, Charlie's not even the top 20. For absolute technical ability, Charlie is... He's up there with the best of them. He's played at the top level, he's at the tail end of his career, and he can still pass better than most.
Yes,
he doesn't need to run box to box, he just passes it box to box.
Do you know what it is? It's the Chris Waddle. Chris Waddle joined Marseille, and that he started tracking back because of the English mentality, and his manager said to him, "What are you doing?" He said, "You know, I hired you to go and do the damage on that end," and he said, and if I wanted you to run up and down, and Chris Waddle's classic line, why run up and down 40 yards when you can pass it 40? I mean, it's...
You just have to ask the Dundee players what they think of Charlie, and they'll know the ability he's got. And we spoke about it the other day. When you've got somebody in your team who knows that his strengths and weaknesses, and then you build round about him, and you can see the boys up front making runs because they know he's got the ability to find them, and he certainly is the driving force.
Yeah, he is the driving force, but he might need to take a back seat in the last 5 games.
Oh God, honestly. Oh God.
I enjoy that.
Just honestly, I could see you stare in your face. I should have known right away. Honestly, look at the two of you.
The master needs apprentice. The master's back.
Absolutely. By the way,
Can
I just say to you, and I must read them out. Peter King has sent us a message saying Peter's talking rubbish. I've changed that.
Rhymes with fish.
He's not. Rhymes with fish. Yeah. And Frank Green says, Peter, keep off the drugs. Listen, hey, that's the joy of it all. I would love. On Friday, Ruffy, I don't know if you remember. I just said to Charlie hit a 40-yard diagonal for us and hit a screamer. And he duly obliged. And remember, as Tam rightly pointed out, he hit 2 brilliant crosses in to get Dundee back into the game in the previous one as well. So you can't knock it. Absolutely superb. Okay, as far as that's concerned, we'll look at some of the fixtures. Just out of curiosity, Aberdeen, we've been talking about their clear out. They're looking at players, Vaclav Vlačky is another one that maybe Jim Goodwin's looking at to come in as a kind of will he be the number 1 goalkeeper, number 2? Jamie McGrath's name won't go away.
He's just going to Jim Goodwin's just going to sign excellent month players.
Well, Richard made the great point. Is he
changing away strip to black and white stripes?
Is he trying to sign the cream of the better players, or as Richard said, if they weren't good enough for St Mirren to get them anywhere, they're certainly not going to be good enough for Aberdeen? Or is McGrath one of those players?
No, I think a few of them moved on to bigger things, but listen, the clear out started at Aberdeen. I tell you what, there's not been any messing about, and there's going to cost them money because they've paid off a year at Jet's salary.
Yep.
Who's the other player they've just paid off? They just got rid of somebody.
Michael Devlin.
Devlin. So they're starting to get, obviously Scott Brown left.
Yep.
So he's starting to get cleared out in time for the summer. I don't know how big that's going to have an effect on morale at Aberdeen. He's just shifting players out and paying people off. So whether that gives everybody a bit up the backside or whatever, I don't know. But there's certainly no messing about. And in Aberdeen, I think this time, next season or at the start of the season will be a totally different outfit from where it is now.
Yeah, what will Hibs be next season? I'm looking at you at the weekend. I saw little signs in the first 25 minutes of some nice football that Sean Maloney wants the team to play, and then it just kind of you savaged them on this programme and in your newspaper column. It was, even Ruffy and I read it, after 38 previous mushy ones. But
I did tell you I was going.
Oh, I know, and I'm sure you'll be getting the call from Maloney. But I'm looking at it. Clark, good. I like Clark. Doig, I like. I think Paul Hanlon's has been a real servant. Bashiri, I'm not having him. Dre Wright, is there a future for him as a squad player? I don't know. I like Joe Newell. Jake Doyle-Hayes as well. I like him. Cadden's not a bad player. Mueller. Melkerson's not a centre forward that will get you goals for me. And then you're saying to yourself, well, Lewis Stevenson's just been there. I think Lewis Stevenson's been there since Hibs were invented.
He was there when I was there.
You're looking at the other players on the. Scott Allen's definitely going to go. It's a Stonewall certainty. Ewan Henderson will go back. Jasper will go back. James Scott hasn't worked out. My God, the Hibs need a clear out.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think the first half an hour at Tynecastle was pretty good, but apart from that, Hibs were battered. We spoke about it the other day. He's been unlucky. He's had to sell Martin Boyle. Now, Martin Boyle, for me, over the last 2 or 3 seasons outside the Old Firm, has been the best player in the league. His goals and assists are up there with your Kents. Everybody, they were up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
He was a top player for Hibs. His pace gave Hibs a different option. When you were struggling, you just knocked it in behind. He would run everything down. Hibs have not got that option now. Nisbet get injured, Doidge is injured, and between them they had like 35 goals or something last season. So he's lost his 3, main goal threats, and at the minute it's just a case of limping to the end of the season for Hibs, and then trying to bring in more quality.
Well, they can't limp to the end of the season, Tam. Saturday, there's thousands upon thousands of Hibs fans coming through here to Hampden, hoping that somehow Sean Maloney can get a trick out of them. And they want to go to the final. So are you sitting here having, worked for Hibs TV, play for Hibs, all those years ago, are you worried about Saturday?
I am worried about Saturday. I think when you look at the performance last Saturday at Tynecastle, the second half, it was devoid of any sort of effort for me. And in a derby game, that has got to be the first and foremost in your mind. As you go out and you give everything, you leave everything on the pitch, whether you're getting beat 3-0 or winning 3-0, you go to the end of the game. When it went to 3-1, you were there, Peter. Hibs, for me, chucked it. There was no threat whatsoever of Hibs getting back into the game. and they need a reaction. Sean Maloney has got to fill that squad this week with belief that they can win. They've got to stand in that tunnel, look over the other side, see that Hearts team and believe that they can beat them, because if they can't, if they've not got that belief going into the tunnel, then they're going to get beat again. And as I said, he's got to fill them with that confidence. Hearts will have the confidence. Hearts have unbeaten against Hibs this season, beat them comfortably at the weekend. Do Hibs have that confidence, that inner belief that they can beat Hearts in a big game? I don't know.
Yeah, I think with the squad that Jack Ross left them, I think Jack Ross definitely makes top 6. It would be fighting for 4.
Oh yeah,
for that squad. And then I heard the interview after the game, and two conflicting interviews. You hear Jim Goodwin at Aberdeen, who's had 6-7 games, maybe 8. He's saying I take my share of the blame for Aberdeen not kind of winning more games when he's in charge. You hear Sean Maloney after the game, and he's blaming traits that he inherited when he took over, and that's the traits that he had. That's why he had to come in.
Well, to be
I think
fair
he's
to
had
him,
13 league games.
Yeah, but to be fair to him, after the game,
3.
After the game, he did come in and say, "I'm not having what I was served up in the second half. I'm not accepting that."
Yeah, but then in his interview, he then blamed that on the traits that were there when he came in, i.e. they're not my fault, we already had them.
Yeah.
Like, you've had 13 league games, you've no one enough. You're at Hibs. You're expected to be 3rd and 4th in the league, and they've not been good enough since he came in. They've been very, very unlucky with injuries to key players. But how many kind of times have you been on here talking about them? And the fact that their players look like they chucked it second half, that's a damning indictment, because players, if they're not having what's going on, if they're not enjoying the management, they will give up. And that's certainly the way it looked like Hibs at the weekend there.
Yeah, Ruffy, he has to get something out of them. He has to try and get them to battle. Is Porte's back a bonus?
Oh, it's a bonus, definitely. Tam was there at the weekend. He gives you something, whether you like it or not. He's going to get in and make tackles. Some of them are a bit rash, some of them aren't. But, I mean, if you've got somebody in your team in a derby game like that, you want somebody winning tackles for you. But I've already said, I think Hearts have got too much firepower in Sims and Boyce, and with Barry Mackay, they've got match winners. I can't see match winners in that Hibs team, not since Boyle and Nisbet's left.
Yeah.
Peter, just finally, the most important area for me on Saturday is the Hibs back 3 against the 2 Hearts strikers. Sims and Boyce absolutely dominated and bullied the 3 centre halves for Celtic, for Hibs. Now you've got Porteous coming back in. I don't think they'll bully Porteous, and whether he brings in Darren McGregor, whether he brings in Lewis Stevenson for a big game, I don't know, but he's got big decisions to make, because he's got to change the team and change the whole feeling about the club going into Derby.
I would do that if I was him. I would bring McGregor and Stevenson back.
I would as well.
Why that ball into the back post for Kingsley's goal was just a nonsense. The defending was absolutely atrocious to allow Kingsley, who's your centre half at that point, and the back line for Hearts, is 6 yards out scoring the goal.
Yeah, I think they don't have anyone in the middle of defence who takes charge, who controls the rest of the back line, who's dominant. I certainly think someone like Darren McGregor is. Big Daz loves winning the ball, loves making tackles, loves heading it. But he'll also organise those around about him. He'll pull people where they need to be pulled. Whereas it looks like when you see Hibs defending, it looks like they don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And they rely on, like, I'm doing my job 1v1. And then if someone kind of switches off for a second, then they lose a goal. Whereas with defending, you can help your mates out. If they make a mistake, you can bail them out, and vice versa. And I think Darren McGregor is certainly someone who can do that.
I said to Tam last week that I think, I thought that Hearts would batter them in the league, and I thought they would batter them in the cup.
You stand by it?
Well, absolutely no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. I've watched both of them a number of times this season. You never let your eyes deceive you. There can be slip-ups, but I think Hearts have got too much quality. Tell me who you think's winning the semi-final and why.
I think Hearts are winning it for all the reasons we've discussed. I think they've got more firepower. I think they've got more confidence, more creativity. And one thing they always give is 100% work rate. And now, if you like Tam suggested, if you're Hibs playing against your rivals, it doesn't matter if you're getting beat 5-6-7-1. You go till the end and you fight and give everything you've got. The fact that they look like they chucked it doesn't kind of bode well. Now they could surprise us all, but I'd be very, very doubtful. I think Hearts will be ready for them, and I think Hearts are far too strong a side.
Yeah, I think Hearts are far too strong defensively. As I said, they've got Barry Mackay, who I'm a big fan of this year, and the 2 guys up front, and I hope I'm wrong, because obviously we're ex-Hibs players, but I just, when you played them the week before, and you've been beaten so comfortably, it's a hard one to turn round. And as Richard said, the Hearts boys will be standing in that tunnel, oozing of confidence. Hibs players might be going, maybe no. So it's Hearts for me.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out, Tam. If I think Celtic are not going to lose another game between now and the end of the season, I think they're going to win the game on that huge Hampden pitch against Rangers. The odds from the bookies right now, 65 favourites Celtic, 19-10 for Rangers and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's side to win it, and you can get 9-4 for the draw after 90 minutes.
Can't see past Celtic at all. I think that Rangers' schedule is going to kill them in terms of this game as well. I think they've got a huge game coming up against Braga. They're going to expend a lot of energy, physically and mentally. And then to lift yourself to go to Hampden against Celtic, where Celtic are sitting with their feet up, ready for you, in great form. On a big pitch, I think Celtic will be too strong for Rangers, and I really do think it's going to be a Celtic Hibs final.
Richard?
I agree with that. Celtic Hibs
I was looking at his face to see if it was. I was
thinking I agree with Tam, but then I realised what he said.
Listen, my head's saying Hearts, my heart's saying Hibs. So I always go with my heart and my wallet, so I'm going to go for Hibs.
Yeah,
I think it will be a Celtic Hearts final. I think that second half in the Old Firm game.
Hold on a second. Like you two. High five, Richard. Well done.
I thought Celtic won the second half. The game in the second half, I thought they were really comfortable. I thought Rangers threw balls into the box. And Starfelt and Carter Vickers just mopped it up, and I think they will need to find a different way to try and break Celtic down. But I just think at the moment, because of the European ties, because Celtic will be fresher, they're in higher confidence at the moment. I think they'll win the game.
Yeah, okay, a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on, lads, before we finish. I can tell you that coming up, we're going to launch the competition tomorrow, but it's an absolutely fantastic one. Hopefully you'll be able to like, share and follow us on our Facebook, PLZ Soccer. If you hit the subscribe button and the bell on YouTube, PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, what a chance for you to win our competition tomorrow. Gia Thompson, the Scottish sports artist, is giving you the chance to pick your favourite player and he'll paint it for you. 4x3, it's a biggie, Ruffy. What a cracker that is. If you were picking one apart from yourself, because obviously you're so wrapped up in yourself. But
I've got one of mine.
What player would you ask Gio to paint?
Probably
my wife, maybe.
From the 70th.
And he's not even denying it.
Can I just say something to you? Richard, I wish you could have seen his face, because when he walked in there and he saw Tam's wife and he thought, wow, Peter's got me one of those singograms, and his eyes were, it was like one of those old cartoons from the 50s. His eyes were popping out of his head.
Dirty old man.
Bad man.
Really,
you're a bad man.
Can't believe you send her out dressed like that.
Listen,
anyway. I'd have to go for what we talked about the beginning of the show. I'd probably go for Ramsey now.
No, yeah. Who would you pick, Ruffy? One player. Belly. Oof, good one. Okay. Good one. Richard?
There is not one single player in the world that I'd want a painting of.
Oh, come on, surely.
I don't want a photo, a painting of another football player in my house.
Well, somebody that you would absolutely idolise. Did you idolise anybody when you were younger? You came from Elgin. Did you idolise anybody?
Just go the whole hog and go Collie.
It was like one of the Titanic ones.
Yeah.
Brazilian Ronaldo for me is the greatest ever. He's the one I looked at. But I don't know if I had a painting of him.
Yeah. What about a painting of Amy?
There's loads of them.
Yeah, she got them all up over the place. So, okay, so we don't need to go to his house for a housewarming. Tam, what about yourself?
Maradona.
That's a good shout, actually.
Maradona for me, he's the best I've ever seen. I just love him. I just liked he was a maverick and just didn't care and lived his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, no point in me telling you, because I think Gio's put about 7 of them up on my wall, Ruffy. They look fantastic, don't they? Oh, for God's sake. You hate Douglas, don't you? Hey?
I don't really hate him, but just
a genius.
I think you're a bit over the top here.
Do you think so? You should have seen.
There's another one he's over the top with as well.
Oh, Henrik.
The Larson rim. But anyway, apart from anything else, yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, Ruffy, Ten Hag, it looks as if he's got a 4-year deal, next manager of Manchester United.
Well, I hope he gets it right with the players. They need a clean out as well, and the proper Man United player brought into that team.
Yeah. Richard, disappointment, I think improvement for Scotland. It certainly was a fantastic turnout for the Scotland women's team, just under 8,000 there at Hampden. they sell it out in sections, which I think most of the Scottish players will know now. But Spain defeated them 2-0. That's not 8-0, and it was certainly a better performance.
Yeah, I think you're playing against teams that have beat you with that margin beforehand. You're always wary, and I think you're on guard, and the best of you comes out, or it should come out, especially at that level. And better result. It's still a defeat, but I don't think they'd have went into that game thinking they could have defeated Spain. So it's probably a relatively positive result.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good players in there, Ruffy. We can still finish second. We can still get a playoff spot.
Yeah, that'd be tremendous. I think the girls, the ones that were there at the last finals, will experience what it's like. And once you've been there once, you want to go back again and test yourself.
Because you've been at 3. I knew you'd get that in. And I can see the link coming now. The girls have been at 1. They want to go to 2. If they can get to 3, like I managed to do.
No, but it's like once you've been there and you're playing against top teams.
Brilliant. Last one, and I cannot believe he actually did this, but Kenny Shields has offered an apology because after their 5-0 drubbing to England, he said, women are more emotional than men. He said he wishes to apologise for the comments he made in the post-match press conference. It's a special occasion for the women's game in Northern Ireland. I'm proud to manage a group of players who are role models for so many girls and boys across the country. I'm an advocate for the women's game and passionate about developing opportunities for women and girls to flourish. So, by the way...
He just got a bit too emotional with his interview, didn't he?
Well, I was going to say, he might have got a bit too emotional, but the last thing I was going to say to you, in the current climate, the last thing you can say is something like that, where he probably, I don't know what the tone of what he was trying to say, but not nowadays. You get steamed on.
No, the words, he's probably, he could have worded it better, what he was trying to say, but listen, that was unacceptable what he said. He's come out and apologised, which I think is fine, which is good. You can move on now. But he's right. These women are big role models for a lot of young girls in Northern Ireland and all over. So I think it was a wrong comment. And this is coming from a manager who got beat 10-2.
Yeah,
I says
they got pretty emotional after that game.
This to Peter before the show, and he made a joke about the PFAs. I got so emotional on the pitch, I tried to fight with one of my own teammates.
That's right.
I try to say men are not emotional. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Women are more emotional.
And Danny Bronson battered him.
He did, aye.
Yeah.
He did, aye.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But they won because Darren McGregor's his best pal.
Yeah, strange times. Listen, at the end of the day, Kenny realised the error of his ways. He's apologised. We move on. It's as simple as that. Hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. You can also download the PLZ Soccer app. If you do that, you can watch the programme live every day of the week. And if you miss it, it's on the app as well. The app has all the breaking football stories right across the globe, from Scotland, England, European football, and of course right across the world. So it's well worth getting a hold of, and there's lots of great features on it too. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, Gio Thompson, the artist, is offering you the chance not only to get some great paintings that you might want to buy from his website, which we've got a special code to give you, which means you'll get a reduction in the price, but he's giving away a painting of your favourite player on the programme. Doesn't get any better than that. We'll give you the details on that. From Tam, from Richard again, quite a few people have said, have I had a word with Richard about his clobber? And that's why he's toned it down just to a straight black and white outfit today, Tam. I'm not quite
Louis
sure.
Vuitton t-shirt, but
it's
it's on the back here.
No marks anyway.
No, I was just about to say to you.
Oh, marks.
There you go. I know.
He's so posh. Why don't you say Primark or something?
So posh. I'm going out for a meal in Motherwell, which is beneath Ruffy. He's not going out anywhere in our area. But nevertheless, the mere fact that Richard, for the benefit of the person who asked it on our feed, the mere fact that he's wearing black and white at the moment tells me that somebody has put everything into the washing. Simple as that. We'll see all the mental gear next week. Yeah.
I get a row for that.
Well, somebody has put it in there. No, I'm neither saying. Kenny Shields has put the washing on for him.
Peter knows my wife too well to realise that she doesn't do my
There's no way Amy's doing the washing. I can't even. Have you got a sink? I can't even imagine her standing at the sink. Anyway, apart from anything else, thanks to Richard, thanks to Ruffy. Thanks to Tam McManus. Tam and I are going outside for a square go now, because that's what Tam does. He likes a square go. After that, we'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Thanks for watching.